Hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome, welcome. We want to thank you for joining us this afternoon for our Insurance for Small Businesses webinar. We think we've got a lot of great information for you this afternoon that you all can put into practice, put to good use, take advantage of some of the things that have come about lately. And without further ado, once again, I want to thank you. I want to introduce to you our project director, Ms. Camille Shaw, and she's going to give you some information about the NBDA Coronavirus Relief Project. Camille?
Hi, thank you, Shakita. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today for the webinar on insurance for small business. My name is Camille Shaw, and I am the project director for the NBDA Coronavirus Response and Relief Project. This project is being managed by DITSA. The NBDA Coronavirus Relief Project is federally funded through the Coronavirus Relief Act under the President Biden's administration. This program is funded by the U.S. Department of Commerce, Minority Business Development Agency. It is designed to foster the growth and development of minority-owned businesses to assist with the support through the COVID-19 pandemic. Our role is to provide technical assistance, to provide education and training material, and to provide consulting services to help your business grow and to meet the challenges of today's business climate. This program provides you with technical assistance at no cost. Yes, at no cost to your business, we can provide you with technical assistance. We are available to provide business services for your business needs, and this may consist of business development, providing a marketing plan, marketing strategies, reviewing your legal structure, assisting with applying for your PPP loan forgiveness, and applying for other low interest loan opportunities. And again, this is at no cost to you. So stay with us until the end of this webinar when we will let you know how to become our client. The objective of today's webinar is to educate and to share information with you regarding tax credits that may reduce your healthcare costs. This new healthcare relief bill was adopted under the Joe Biden administration, has made healthcare coverage more affordable. You will see in some cases that you as a business owner or your employees may qualify for a healthcare plan at a reduced monthly premium or at no cost at all. But before we begin, I would like to thank our partner, Ben Green of Insurance Advantage, for sharing his cost-saving information with you today. So thank you again for joining us. At this time, I will turn the program back over to our moderator, Ms. Shakita Jones, so that she can carry on with the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. Thank you so much for that introduction of the NBDA Coronavirus Relief Project. As Camille alluded to, our guest speaker today is Mr. Ben Green of Insurance Advantage, and I will bring him on momentarily to give us some biographical information about himself as well as some details about his company. But just a couple of housekeeping tips I want to go over with you. After the conclusion of Mr. Green's introduction, he will go into his presentation for the day. If in fact you do have any questions throughout the presentation, please be sure to submit them through the chat box, and we'll make every effort to address the questions as they become available in the order in which they were received. Following which, we will have a question and answer session at the end of the webinar. So we would love for you to stay on board and get the full advantage of the information that's being presented today. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Ben Green of Insurance Advantage. Good afternoon, Ben.
Hey, Chiquita, how are you doing today?
Doing well, thank you. Thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely, thank you all. I want to thank the U.S. Department of Commerce, the NBDA, and DISA, and you, Camille, and Mrs. Sumter. It's really a pleasure to be on today, and really happy to share some helpful information, and great to hear that you all are providing that kind of technical assistance for folks that still need some help through a coronavirus pandemic. And look forward to helping and providing this information today.
Thank you so much. Tiffany, if you'd like to advance to the next slide. So Mr. Green can tell us a little bit about his company.
Absolutely. So Insurance Advantage, we're founded in 2010 as a full service independent insurance broker. And that means we do everything for you. We can do everything for you as either a small business or as individuals, including health insurance, life insurance, dental, vision, all that stuff. We've been a South Carolina small business chamber partner for over 6 years, and we've helped thousands of folks. And we are not insurance people, if you will. We're really about being small business people that help small businesses. And so we always keep that in mind when we are working with our clients, whether they're solopreneurs, whether they're individuals, whether they're small businesses. Next slide. So today we're going to talk about what is the ARPA, the ARPA law that was passed. We are going to do an overview of the Affordable Care Act, and we're going to talk a little bit about what did change on March the 11th of 2021. We're going to talk about how the new law can actually benefit your business, and whether or not, even if you have an individual health insurance plan, whether or not you can benefit from what happened on March the 11th. We're going to talk a little bit for small businesses about what you can do to provide benefits for your employees, even without spending any money. We're going to talk about the timelines around the typical open enrollment season and our new open enrollment season right now. And then we're going to go through some real life case studies. And throughout it all, if you all do have some questions, please feel free to ask. Next slide. So we're going to do a poll first. You want to put the poll question up, please? So first question is, can you get a $0 plan through the health insurance marketplace? True or false? You can get a $0 plan through the health insurance marketplace. True or false? I'll give you a few minutes to answer. All right, and the results are interesting, really interesting, and it's great that you all are on the presentation today. So 31% said true and 69% said false. The answer is true. You actually can get a $0 plan, health insurance plan through the marketplace based on your income and your household. So look forward to providing that information for you today. So ARPA, what is ARPA? So on March the 11th, President Biden signed the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. And this law was really intended to combat the COVID-19 pandemic, including the public health and economic impacts. And it really provided some juicy, resources and details for folks that are looking to get health insurance coverage. Next slide. A lot of the red tape has been eliminated in terms of the subsidies that are available through the federal government to pay for health insurance. So really excited to show you more about that. And for us on the Insurance Advantage side, as I said, we're based in Columbia, but we work all over South Carolina, and we're number one in the individual health insurance market in South Carolina. We do a lot of group health insurance. If you are, and I just had a client in our office today that is 61 years old. Her husband is 65, and they're looking to retire or open up their own business, actually. So if you do have folks in that arena that are looking towards retirement, we can help them out as well. And then we help with the other things like disability and life insurance and even property and casualty insurance if your company needs that. Next slide. So the Affordable Care Act. So it's known by many different names, like Obamacare. Take a look at the next slide there. So Obamacare, whether it's called healthcare.gov, whether it's called the marketplace, whether it's called an ACA plan, they're all the same thing. There's some confusion around that, and I look forward to helping to end that confusion today. So who qualifies for an ACA plan? So anyone that's 18 to 64 years old can actually qualify for an ACA plan. And you qualify for the plan if you'll qualify for a subsidy if your household income was typically between 100% to 400% of the federal poverty level, and we'll show you what those numbers are in just a bit. If you're not able to get affordable coverage through your employer, or if you're not eligible for other coverage like Medicaid or Medicare or veterans benefits. And if you're married and you file a joint income tax return, then you may qualify for a subsidy. And I did have one question regarding whether or not we help folks in North Carolina. Yes, absolutely we do. And I know that DISA's reach and the MBDA's reach is really wide. We actually work with folks in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee, if need be. Next slide. So for those who qualify for a subsidy, if your income was in that area, that's where you qualified. For those that were not able to get affordable coverage through their employer, and if if you were married and filed a joint income tax return, you do qualify for a subsidy. And we'll show you what the federal poverty level is. Next slide. The bronze, the plans that are available, bronze plans cover 60% typically of the cost, and you cover 40%. Silver plans cover 70%, 30%. But within the Obamacare, within the ACA law, there are some subsidies and there's some cost sharing enhancements that come into play with silver plans that are very exciting that we'll talk about later on. And you can also get what's called the gold plan, which covers 80%, and you're responsible for 20%. If you are under the age of 30 years old, you may qualify for a catastrophic plan, which is a high deductible plan that does have some decent co-pays for going to see doctors, for example. Next slide. Open enrollment prior to March the 11th was November the 1st to December 15th. And this upcoming year, we think it may be expanded. It may expand from November the 1st to January 15th, for example, but we do not have any definition or clarity around that. So that was a typical open enrollment season, November 1st to December 15th. And small businesses were not required, under 50, were not required to offer health insurance. And that's still the case. Next slide. So the ACA, the FPL, a lot of acronyms there. So the Affordable Care Act, federal poverty levels there. So if you are a single household, one person, the minimum you have to make is $12,760 per year before taxes to qualify for subsidies. Okay. If you're a single person there on that left, or if you're a family of two on the left side there, next column down, you have to make $17,240. And you can see family of four, the minimum that you had to make to qualify for any subsidies was $26,200. And that's still the case. On the high end, the maximum was $51,000 for a single person. For a family of four, the maximum was $104,000. I just sat down with a couple, as I said, that's 61 and 65 years old. They make $80,000 a year, and prior to March the 11th, they did not qualify for anything. Also, $0 bronze plans, $0 plans that I was talking about, they were available already prior to March the 11th. And after March the 11th, that's become even more exciting with some new opportunities. So after ARPA, so we now have a 2021 special open enrollment that started February 15th, and it goes until August the 15th. And so normally it's November the 1st to December 15th, and you are locked out of the marketplace unless you have a special enrollment need, like, or reason, like you got married or you moved to a different job, for example, or you moved states. But right now, anyone that needs health insurance, literally anyone that needs health insurance that's between 18 and 64 years old can get a plan on the marketplace up until August 15th. Okay. The other new thing after March 11th is if you have received $1, even $1 in unemployment for 2021, you are eligible for a $0 silver level plan with enhanced benefits, which can mean that your deductible, for example, may be $250 in an entire year. Okay, so you have $0 bronze plans that are available, and you also now have $0 silver plans that are available based on your income or if you got some unemployment. And the option for a new silver plan low deductibles. It's for those that make up to 150% of the federal poverty level, or the FPL. So that's $19,140 for a single person and $39,330 for a family of four. You can get a $0 health insurance plan. And now, after the ARPA was passed, that family that came in, the two folks that were making $80,000 a year, they now will get a really large subsidy, actually. So even up to 1,100% of the federal poverty level, which is not poor, there is no poverty there, you can still get a subsidy. So that means that high income earners that did not get subsidy before, they can now get subsidy. Very exciting. Next, please. And as I said there, so now this federal poverty chart is the bottom end, $12,760, family of four, $26,200. That is still in effect. On the top end, with the higher earners, that's now not in effect, based on what your household situation is and your age is. The older you are, and the older you are, actually, the more you may get, even on the high end of the income scale. So that's very exciting now for folks. And the way it's set up is your insurance costs are not going to exceed 8.5% of your income. That's very exciting for folks that were earning higher incomes. Next slide. So we now have another polling question. So question is, companies with under 50 employees must provide health insurance to their staff. Is that true or false? Please answer. Take 30 seconds here to answer. So companies with under 50 employees must provide health insurance to their staff. True or false? We'll wait while the results come in. All right, y'all did much better on this one. Only 6% got it incorrect. So the answer is false. So if you're under 50 employees, you do not have to provide health insurance to your staff. And in fact, many companies are turning to the marketplace to look at that as an option for their staff, so that they can actually provide other benefits like dental and vision, for example, where they can actually pay a fixed amount to provide additional benefits. So that's very exciting. And next slide. And we did get a question about the dates for when the federal poverty level is calculated. The new chart typically comes out around October the 1st to October the 15th for the federal poverty level. But typically speaking, it goes up maybe 1 or 2% what it was. So if this year is 12,760, for 2022, the number will probably be about $12,900. Maybe you can just count on $13,000 having to hit that level on the lower end to qualify for a subsidy. Great questions. All right, so the opportunity for small businesses and for individuals, but especially for you as a small business owner, is that you can be a hero for zero. Basically, you can provide the education, you can provide the resources and the assistance from someone like my firm, and your employees can get coverage for sometimes for $0, okay, or for a very low price. And your high income earners also can now get a lot of subsidy based on their age, based on their family, household, their taxable situation. So business owners can really provide a lot of good information. Next slide. You will have more employees now. Almost all of your employees, if you take a look at the average incomes in South Carolina, literally you can be a family of four making up to $330,000 a year. And depending on the age that you are, and depending on your household, your household taxable situation, you may qualify for some subsidy. So literally almost all people in South Carolina, if they're not offered health coverage through their employer, they may qualify for Affordable Care Act subsidies, okay? Small businesses under 50, they're not required to provide insurance. And so a lot of these groups, as I said, are looking to the marketplace. And you have until August 15th. If you missed open enrollment for whatever reason, you still have until August 15th to enroll and get coverage starting either if you enrolled right now, your coverage would start August 1st. If you enroll by August 15th, your coverage would start September 1st. So it's a great opportunity for not only for individuals, but for business owners. And the deadline is August 15th. So real case studies and some real numbers here. So this is an example of family of four. These are real numbers from healthcare.gov. So this family is making $30,000 a year. They have family of four. They qualify before, and this was prior to 311, they could qualify for a $36 plan per month, where the two adults would qualify for a $250 deductible plan. And the plan is going to be $36 per month. So really low deductible, $700 maximum out of pocket per person, low copays, very good. Next example. Now, after March the 11th, literally, so if we sign them up on March the 10th and then we re-sign them up in April, that same family would qualify for a $0 silver plan. Okay, so instead of $36 per month, which was a great price anyways, now they're paying $0 for the same plan, okay, with the same level of benefits. For a 50-year-old, as another example, making $50,000 a year, so on the high end of the scale, where they might pay for a regular group plan, this 50-year-old might pay $600-700 a month. Okay, with the marketplace plan and the subsidy, they're making $50,000 a year. They're still going to get a really large subsidy. It's going to be $76 per month for them for a high deductible plan, but it's just $76 per month. And the next example, the same person, 50 years old, instead of paying $600 or $700 per month for a group health insurance plan, they could pay $361 per month for a low deductible plan through the marketplace. Next example is a 35-year-old person making $35,000 a year over in the Florence area. We work all over the state, do a lot of work in the PD, a lot of work in Charleston, et cetera. And we're independent, which means that we work with Blue Cross a lot, but we also work with Molina, who's on the marketplace right now. And we also do work with Ambetter, who's on the marketplace right now. And it all depends, as far as the carriers, all depends on who you're going to see for doctors, which hospitals you use, in which areas of the state you're in, which county even can kind of decide which carrier you might use. But for this particular person, $35,000 a year, they can get a $2,750 deductible plan for $206. And this particular plan also includes vision and dental. So they can get the entire package for $206 per month. Next slide. And for a family of four, both parents 40 years old, and they're making $100,000 a year. So on the high end of the scale, obviously, they can get the plan for $127 to cover all four people. Okay, and this was prior to 311. On the next slide, this same family can come in now with a low deductible plan and only pay $662 for all four people, which is a very low price. It's a very low price because on the open market or through a group health insurance plan, if you're covering four people with a deductible this low, you'd be looking at least $1,200, $1,300 per month for this. So once again, a really low option. And literally, I have a family in Greenville that's in this particular situation where they have this plan. Next slide. So we're now going to do a review of another question. So question is, companies must pay for all benefits provided to employees, true or false? So companies must pay for all benefits provided to employees. Is that true or false? Give you all a couple of minutes. So you all did wonderfully on this one as well. So 11% said true, 89% said false, and that's absolutely right. So companies do not have to pay for your benefits. Companies do not have to pay for your benefits. So great with that. So we had two other questions come in. So if you want, the first question is, if you have insurance right now, can you switch using the March 11th changes? Great question. That's a great question, Lori. The answer is absolutely yes. And you should absolutely, even if you don't switch your health insurance plan, you should recheck the numbers. We can recheck the numbers for you for free. And you're very likely your prices are going to go down. Okay, so that's the service we provide to folks for no cost. And absolutely, yes, you can change. So if you had a bronze plan and you want to go to a silver level plan, you can do that. The other question that we had come in is, are you allowed to apply for new rates, although you're currently covered by health plan through the marketplace? Kind of a different version of the same question. Yes, absolutely, you can apply. We encourage you to apply for the new rates, and that's what we help folks do. So great questions. So business owners, if you save a lot of money on health insurance, which we have a lot of owners now, some of them are, it all depends. Some owners, we take a look and we do an analysis, and it does not make sense to drop their group health insurance plans, okay? For some, it does make sense to drop your group health insurance plans, especially if the premium has gotten just too high, and you can redeploy that money for something else. So some business owners are taking the savings with health insurance, and they are providing voluntary benefits, okay, where they allow the employer, they allow the employee to purchase things like dental, vision, accident policies, critical illness policies. And we do have some that say, hey, I'm saving $300 or $400 a month offering these health insurance policies, so I'm going to redeploy $100 per month to offer all my employees. I'm going to cover $100 of their cost for supplemental coverage. And we have a lot of business owners that are doing that because they're saving so much through the group health insurance is no longer in place. So that's an option for business owners, where you can either provide these benefits for free, or you can put some money in from the savings and provide even expanded benefits for your employees. Next slide. So dental and vision are two of the types that we do offer. Of course, a lot of people want dental coverage, and there are a lot of good supplemental carriers that are available for dental and vision coverage. Next. Disability, paycheck protection. So if you walk off the curb today and you get hit and you cannot go to work for 1 or 2 or 3 months, are you going to be okay paying your bills? Or will you need a supplement to your paycheck? Basically, will you need a supplemental paycheck? This is the type of coverage that a lot of folks are also putting in place right now, and you can do it voluntarily, or you can do an employer paid type of policy. But the supplemental benefits are the other types of benefits that people are rolling out now for their employees. You have short term, which will cover you for maybe 3 months, for example, or 6 months, and you have long term, where if you have a long term illness for a couple of years, you're getting a paycheck. Okay, if you happen to get a disability at age 55, you can have long-term disability insurance take you to age 65 until you hit Social Security, and you can get some retirement. So this is another type of protection that a lot of employers put in place. Next slide, please. And then, of course, life insurance. No one likes to think about it. No one likes to think about coverage. But the bottom line is, if something bad does happen to you or to your spouse, okay, or to your partner, it's really important to have 5 to 7 times. We actually recommend sometimes 7 to 10 times the replacement income in a life insurance policy, whether it's term, whole life, whatever it is. We highly recommend that you have some planning in place to replace incomes of someone you may lose. Next slide. And then the additional coverages that have become more popular now are things like accident coverage, critical illness, hospitalization, and all of this can be provided to employees through their employer without the employer having to pay anything for it. Okay. So we have another question here. So can a small business obtain health insurance? We will we'll go ahead and give the quiz question first, and then we'll get to the other question. So company benefits are portable, meaning you can take them with you if you leave the company. Is that true? that false, or does it depend on the benefit and the insurance carrier? So let you all take a couple of seconds to answer that question. Very good, very good. So a lot of you got that question correct. So company benefits may or may not be portable. And this is whether or not you work with a small company, whether you work with a large company, or even whether you work with the state government of South Carolina or North Carolina. Not all of your benefits are going to be portable. It really depends on the carrier that you have, and it also depends on the particular benefit. Some life insurance, for example, some life insurance may be portable. Disability, typically long-term disability, is not portable, for example. So that's why we also do encourage folks to have their own individual policies if possible, especially if they can get them young, because it's going to be it's not going to be that much cost, and it's going to be portable for you. So the question we had from North Carolina: can a small business obtain health insurance for their employees and for their company and employees through the marketplace? So in North Carolina, I believe the answer is no. In South Carolina, I can tell you the answer is absolutely not. It's what was called the SHOP exchange, or the SHOP plans. And to my knowledge, there are no SHOP plans available in South Carolina this year. And I don't think there are any available in North Carolina. And so what typically is happening is businesses send their employees to the individual marketplace, which is healthcare.gov, and we help with that. So for if you're a solopreneur, solo entrepreneur, individual, and you do need either health insurance coverage or supplemental coverage, all the benefits that I just talked about are also available on an individual basis. So accidents, critical illness, term, life insurance, all that stuff, and of course, health insurance, that's all available on an individual basis. And so you can have the same types of benefits as a large company by yourself. Who's a good fit for working with Insurance Advantage, working with my firm? Obviously, employers and entrepreneurs that are looking to add benefit programs with little or no cost to help with retention. And then also groups who haven't explored the individual option since March 11th. If you as an employer, if your boss is not taking a look at that option, and you all are paying a lot for your group health insurance plans, you should at least take a look at it and consider what's available. And then certainly any individuals or any solopreneurs who do not have health insurance, or they have not updated their health insurance, they need to take a look at other benefits. We can help them out. Next slide. This is my contact information. You can call me directly or text me at 803-509-3394. And then this is also my email address as well. Always happy to answer questions. We do a lot of free consulting, and because we're really passionate about advancing the cause, advancing small businesses, helping out minority-owned businesses, obviously, and helping folks to really kind of take the next step in their businesses. So with that, Camille, Chiquita, I'll turn it back over to y'all. Really thank you for your time, and we'll please stay on to give this really important information that they're going to provide.
Thank you so much, Ben. Certainly appreciate all of the information. I'm sure that our attendees are going to get great value out of that. And I do want to remind all of our attendees this afternoon that this is a free service. It costs you nothing to get the information, and in the long run, it may actually save you a great deal of money. So certainly keep Insurance Advantage in mind and Mr. Ben Green, and I'm sure that they'll be more than happy to assist you. Next slide, please. This afternoon, we just wanted to reiterate how the NBDA coronavirus relief came about. We are, as Camille indicated earlier, a federally funded program through the Coronavirus Relief Act. Next slide, please. We do know that this is a delicate subject for many people, and I do want to stress that we are not encouraging you one way or the other, but we simply want to give you the information and the facts. All of the stimulus money, all of the things that have been able to be put in place over the past year to assist small businesses and families get through the pandemic are a result of coronavirus, or COVID-19, if you will. So we want to give you some information about vaccination services if you have not in fact been vaccinated. As we said, again, this is a federally funded program as a result of COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccines are effective at protecting you from getting sick. The vaccines are safe and effective at preventing COVID-19, including severe illness and death. They can reduce the risk of people spreading COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccines are in fact effective against the variants of the virus that cause COVID-19. And as I'm sure many of you are aware, the Delta variant is spreading rapidly through the United States right now, and vaccinations would certainly go a long way to combating that. And all of these facts are coming directly from the CDC. Next slide, please. What you need to know, just some very quick facts from the CDC. Vaccines are safe and effective at preventing the disease. They reduce the risk of people spreading. You may have side effects, but they should go away in a couple of days. And it usually takes about 2 weeks after your second vaccine to be fully vaccinated. You can visit the cdc.gov to learn how you can find a vaccine in your area and how soon you can get it. And after you're fully vaccinated, you can resume activities that you did before the pandemic. Next slide, please. But with all of the variants that are going on, that are circulating right now throughout the United States, throughout the world, actually, we still encourage you to continue safe practices. Your masking when necessary, of course, hand sanitizer, washing your hands, and being socially distant when in public places. Next slide, please. For those of you in South Carolina, here is some general vaccine information that you can reach out for if you have yet to be vaccinated or you're still having questions. Anybody at South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control can answer any of your questions. Next slide, please. So just remember, the vaccine helps you protect others, helps you protect your loved ones, and it also helps you to protect yourself. So for those of you who have been vaccinated, I say kudos to you. And for those of you who have not yet been vaccinated or still have questions or are on the fence, I encourage you to seek out good, solid information to help you make your decision about the vaccination process. Next slide, please. Now, I know that Mr. Green answered a lot of your questions during the presentation. Are there any additional questions that you all would like to have asked this afternoon? We did have a couple that were emailed to us and some that came in throughout the presentation. Ben, one of the questions is, I saw earlier that there was a comment about cyber liability. What is cyber liability insurance?
Yep. So, for example, if your business takes on, I guess like personal information. So, for example, names, social security numbers, phone numbers, addresses, etc. Maybe some medical information, and you are hacked, for example, and that information is distributed. Is there some liability on your end? Is there liability for your business for not protecting that information, or for allowing that information to somehow be hacked, even though everybody's getting hacked? Cyber liability insurance can basically cover those risks essentially. So if your business happened to be hacked and there was a release of information, et cetera, then the insurance company will typically step in and cover your liability. So if you get sued for $50,000 for letting information be leaked, for example, the insurance company is typically going to come in and try to combat first of all the hack, first of all, and then secondly cover your liability for that lawsuit.
Great, thank you very much. One of the other questions that came in is, are the subsidies you talked about today permanent? And if they're not permanent, when do they expire?
That's a great question. So the subsidies, really starting in 2013, the subsidies have been according to the law, have been permanent. So there's been no really change in how the subsidy calculations are done. It's based on your income, based on your age, based on your taxable household. So if you're a single person, that you count as one. If you're a family of four, you count as four, of course. And so the subsidies have been consistent. Where there was a change was on March the 11th with the ARPA law. There have been additional subsidies that were added, essentially. And those subsidies starting March 11th are going to go, the juiced up or the extra subsidies that have been added, they are going to go until the end of December of 2022. But right now in Congress, they are taking a look to make even those sort of additional subsidies permanent. And so that's sort of a, to be determined if those additional subsidies will be permanent, but the subsidies that help the Affordable Care Act law and really help the premiums come down right now, those are essentially permanent subsidies. And so as long as the law is in place, those subsidies will be there.
Great, thank you so very much. Are there any additional questions this afternoon? If not, I want to give you a brief introduction. Next slide, please. To the services that are offered by the NBDA Coronavirus Relief Project. Once again, this is a federally funded program, and all of the services that are available through our program are free to you. We want to focus on small LLCs, small startup businesses, but of course, everyone is welcome. We are always happy to assist any of you who may have any type of question or need some type of assistance in your business endeavors. As Camille alluded to earlier, we deal with legal structures. And for those of you who don't really understand what legal structures are, that refers to your legal status as far as LLC, sole proprietor, things of that nature. Bookkeeping services, which is crucial, particularly during this time of stimulus. Your operations, marketing, and communications. For those of you who got PPP loans, we also deal with PPP forgiveness, sales and contracts, workforce development and staffing, technology situations, financing and loans, and more. So there may be something up there that with which you may need assistance that you don't see, but if you give us a call, we would certainly like to talk with you to see what we can do to assist you or to direct you to someone or an organization that may be able to assist you. And please remember that this is at no cost. This is federally funded by the United States government, and it is of course no cost to you. They want to ensure that the services are getting to those who need it the most. And by needing it the most, we certainly are talking about small businesses, independent contractors, things of that nature. So even if it's just a small question that you have, please feel free to contact us at the information below via email or by phone. And without further ado, I want to thank all of you for participating today. We are so happy that we were able to have this webinar for you today. Thank you again. We certainly appreciate it. And we look forward to our next webinar, and we will certainly keep you posted. You all have a wonderful afternoon, and thank you again for joining us. Take care.